I've been involved in several projects,
Yeah,
right?
I know.
Maybe
Yeah,
not Salesforce,
yeah.
but with the ones I've done with Blackforce, I was able to talk through them.
Mm-hmm.
And because of the other project that I've done in the past, so I
Yeah.
actually have all those skills. I was able to
Yep.
talk through like the kind of question he asked. So he asked me questions about, like scope creep generally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What he was trying to say, like, how do I handle when a stakeholder introduce
This
new
requirements halfway through.
requirements
Yeah.
within the sprint, right?
Yeah.
So, and I made him to know that, yeah, that's it usually happens. But what I will first do first is to actually you understand what is the need for the change. Why did the stakeholder want it? Because there could be different
Correct.
reasons why they want it. It could be regulatory requirement, it could be legal requirement, it could be
Yep.
something that needs to be
Yep.
done. So I
Yeah.
gave him a scenario whereby in my previous role that every February, like why it is a tax season right now in Canada, we know that it's a tax season, right? So we need to print out a particular like a TIF, kind of something that needs to go like a form
Yeah.
for members of the union for them to be able to, add as part of their tax filing to add to
Okay.
their tax filing. So that was like a requirement that was missed initially, like from where they were developing the
Yeah.
solution. So, but it came up around January, and so the stakeholder had asked that we do that.
Okay.
Meanwhile, the product we already had like a product roadmap, like things that we
Mm-hmm.
wanted to do,
Yeah.
which that particular requirement wasn't in it. But after reviewing it, we had to add it. And there are times that when you review it, you have to use your negotiation skills to let the stakeholder know, like, okay, you have to look at prioritize it and ensure that
Yeah.
what is the priority about it, what is the need, what are
Yeah.
the things, you look at the risk around it.
Yeah.
If you introduce it right now, is it going to affect other functionalities within it's like do kind of like a regression testing that to
Yeah.
check. So I think that's one of the questions, and he was impressed. He asked me a couple of questions around like Salesforce. Have I been involved with Salesforce implementation? Yeah, I talked about it. I talked about the Zafin billing system that I'm currently working on
Mm-hmm.
at CWB. If like that
Yeah.
for you,
Yeah.
I'm not right working as a BA there, but because of like I have the experience of BA, so I kind of talked through it that I was involved with the requirement
Yeah.
gathering, and
Yeah.
I also assist with the testing of the system. Yeah, we talked about
Okay.
that. Ask a couple of like maybe things related to Salesforce, which are like things that
Yeah.
I've gone through, things
Yeah.
that I've done in my
Okay.
past in terms of like how do you something like how do you if you don't want two users to like different people in the
Yeah.
same
Yeah. To
department
see. Yeah. Same.
to
Yeah.
see. So I talked about record types and I also
Yeah.
said you can use page layout.
Yeah.
He asked about that.
Okay.
He asked if he had something regarding, I'm trying to remember because I actually recorded that this video. I'm trying
Yeah.
to
You said so.
remember the question that he asked. He asked me questions about whether I've worked on flows. Yeah, that I said, yeah, but I wouldn't say that I'm very good at it. But they are simple flow, like
Yeah.
that I can say that okay, I've worked on, but I wouldn't say that I'm an expert in it, right?
Okay.
But being a technical person, sometimes you have to put your hand in so many things to
Yeah.
get your work done.
Correct.
Then talked about it's my experience with UI, like mock-ups, things like
Yeah.
that. I'm like, oh, I have quite good experience because I worked on a project that has to do with creating of portal. So I talked about the
Okay.
portal. I talked about these tools that I used. I used
Okay.
Figma.
Figma. Yeah.
Then I used Balsamic as well to kind of do
I
like a
know about
mock-up.
balsamic.
Then he asked about which tool do I use for like what other tools do I use? So I mentioned like I use Visio, I use
Obviously,
Dry.ui,
chat,
I
drawing,
use
right?
Lucid,
Dot.
but I'm very good at
Yeah.
Visio and I've developed,
Yeah.
designed, and I also ensure that I use my PowerPoint a lot, even sometimes like in terms of presentations and
Yeah.
yeah. So
Okay. So no wonder why you're moving forward, right? So that's good. And now that I'm hoping that this should be the final stage. I don't know whether they want to do anything after this. So here we are. So Rebecca, that's how she got to where she is now. And like I said, I feel like to be honest, and she's here, I can say this to her face, that as in any, that when she reached out to me and I spoke to her a little bit, I could see that. I mean, again, I had to remember who she was from Quad 6, and I remembered her BA presentation. Everybody was wowed when she presented her work. And so that just put everything in perspective. I knew she wasn't a rookie. And I just told her, you don't even have to book me, just go for the interview. And she did, right? And here she is, she's on the next stage. She came back and she said, Michael Boyu, I want to book you. And I was still trying to discourage her from booking me. Abibeka, work
Yes.
plenty. I don't want people to book me.
I said, no, this one, we must do it. Don't worry.
I was trying to discuss. I said, you really want to book me? She said, yes, she wants to. I said, okay. So you now said, okay. And I said, okay, let's look at who you are meeting with. I say, product management. I say, okay, let's find somebody that will help us demystify this whole thing. So that's why we're here. And so I don't know whether you want to start us off, on whatever you have in mind, and then I can.
Yeah, I could always start off and chime in on what has been said so far. So
Okay.
when I did see his LinkedIn presentation,
Yeah.
and the first thing that came to my head is looking at the organizational hierarchy of the company, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think it's as crazy as what is that could be out there. So I don't think you should be too scared of you seeing a VP role whatsoever. And for them to have called you to the third stage, they absolutely need you.
Mm,
So right now is the only thing I would say is from the way you even speak, you know that you know your onions. And I
correct.
just feel like it's pretty much like looking at their pain points
Yep.
and now start thinking of how you could do a design for them and start implementing solution even before you come on board. Because the VP wanting to look at you is pretty much is looking at things of, do you have their culture in them? And do you like their culture as well, right? Because the VP wants to know if he's going to be able to work with you based on the fact that you might be having one or two meetings with him. Because in some organizations, have it at the back of your mind, right? The product owners are pretty much like what is it called? The owners of the backlog in Agile, right? And so if the vice president is dealing with a lot of owning a product, that means he knows the business processes. That
Yeah,
means
he
in your
does.
design stage and everything, he might be having to work with you. So he wants to like interview your personality, he wants to like interview your knowledge more. So don't be scared that he's a VP. Look at it on the fact that, hey, this person, you're going to be working side by side by him, even if not directly, but in meetings and all this good stuff, right? Making decisions and drawing process flows and all this good stuff. So look at it that way, and I feel you're gonna do perfectly well, and it's gonna be congratulations by the time you come back to us, anyways.
Thank you. So I have a question. So are you suggesting that, okay, maybe prior to going for the interview, I should create like a kind of like a vision or something to present? Is that what you're
Yes,
suggesting?
yes. So if you look at your stage one and stage two, whatever question they must have asked you, like start thinking of what was their pain point, what did you hear, and
Okay.
start drawing out solutions for them based on that fact.
Okay.
And
So one of the thing, sorry about that.
go ahead,
Can I
please.
go?
Yes, please.
Okay. So one of the thing that the the technical guy act that he actually mentioned as one of their pain points is that, so prior to this moment, like the solution they have already is mainly on Sales Cloud, like for their sales team, right? So they have solutions like they sell products to their clients, like to the auto dealers and stuff like that. But they have like their sales team use the solution, but they realize that on their current system there has been a lot of mess. Like they've put in so much garbage. So right now, they've just gotten the buy-in of the management for
Okay.
them to implement a new solution entirely, because he also joined them in January. So currently they do not have like material, they do not have documents. Like
Yeah.
that's very sure. They do not have documents like
Yeah.
people can fall in. So what he's trying to do right now is just trying to put documents together so that if a new person joining, right, at least you can see something to look at. Okay, this is the business process. This is what we currently have at the
Okay.
moment. So that's like one pain point. They want to they want to uh dish this
Revamp
solution
whatever they
they
have.
have, yes,
Okay.
and not even like they are improving on it. They want to stop it and build a new thing entirely. But you know why they are building it? You will still need to be supporting this, because then at the end of the day, they will now be able to do like maybe like then drop this and they will go with this and be like a parallel run for some time, and then they would now move to the new solution. Yeah. But
Okay, so I think Mr. Boyo can chime in here, but this is what I think you should do based on the fact of what I'm hearing right now, right? So they want to ditch their old solution because on a normal day, if you're joining a project, they'll tell you you want to do the current state and future states because they're pretty much moving from whatever used to be their old solution or their legacy into a new system, right? But from what you're saying now is they want to actually ditch whatever they had in process.
yeah, this
So they're
current
not looking
Salesforce
for,
process they have, yeah,
yes,
but yeah.
yes. So, and two things could be because they didn't have a documented process, the architectural design might not be in place and all this good stuff. And they just feel like the data is dirty enough and they rather start on this clean slate, right?
Yeah.
So what my head would tell me is you want to work on a future state presentation. That's number one. Number two is you want to, because you say they sell into auto dealers, right? So
Yeah.
if you understand what that process is or what the auto dealing company is, you don't have to go in full details, right? You can then now start structuring on this is how your page layout is going to be. This is how the CRM tool is going to help you, right? And start drafting something on what you think is going to be applicable to the future state they want to be in and use that for your presentation. And I feel it's going to give you an edge over any other person because why? You're already in the future with them. Knowing fully well, it's like you're supporting whatever there's going to be, which is their legacy system. But however, you're building something from scratch, which I think is even easier than trying to understand what they had in the past and trying to now fit in. So it's just like you saying, what's the word now? You wire the house, right? And the electrician that wired the former house did not label all the wires properly, and you can't tell which is connecting to the main house or to the boys' quarters and stuff like that. But now the owner of the house is saying, do you know what? While before we move anything out to a new land we've just acquired, I want you to go and look at the new land and start building something for me. Then when it's not done, we're going to move people from the old house into the new house because you didn't understand the wiring. So I feel your presentation is just going to give you an edge by looking at what the auto dealer is all about and just create a quick eye level view of what the future state is going to be and give it to them and tell them this you think should be, but at the same time you want to be able to identify your business stakeholders to see if they buy in or if they're on the same page as you. But I'll let Mr. Boyo speak to that as well.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
thank you very much, Becca. And and that just reminds me. You remember Becca, your final stage, right? So this is like deja vu because Becca's boss was also like was it a VP, right?
Yes. Yes, it was.
Exactly. And I remembered your final stage when I had told you to go in with a presentation. Your first
Yes.
response was that you really have to do that. And I said,
Yes.
if you like, do it. If you like, don't do it. Right? It doesn't take anything away
Yes.
from me. And and you may or may not have the opportunity to show something like that any. But what it does is that it just makes your conversation completely different from the rest of the crowd. Because what she's saying now is what I can see in my head is like it's like as if you're going to do a business case for why they are doing what they want to do. You want to write that business case to say that, okay, this is an organization that already has an existing Salesforce footprint, right? But that Salesforce footprint is now kind of burdened. It has what they call technical debt. That's actually what the terminology is. There's a lot of technical debt. There's no documentation. Nobody has any sort of procedure. Nobody even knows what the heck is going on and all of that. So that's the current state. And then you can just, all we're saying doesn't have to be more than maybe 2 or 3 slides. And like I said, you may not even have the opportunity to show it to him, but you can try. You can say, you know what, depending how the conversation goes, you know what, do you mind if I just take 2 minutes to just show you something I put together? And most likely, Oyinbo generally, they will just say, oh, really, what exactly is that? You say, you know what, let me humor you. Let me humor you. Just 2 minutes. Do you mind if I can share my screen? And you'll be saying it like as if you're so passionate, you're excited. And it's going to be like, oh, okay, you really have something to show me? Yes. Okay, fine. Let's see. Right? Now, what we're saying is current state, technical depth, that all the things you are saying, go and find some other things you can add to it. Bullet points, like 4 or 5 points. Straightforward thing. Your image can be like something that is chaotic, right? It's there. You're not abusing them. You're not doing all that. Then you now say, okay, what's the road to where you need to be? So you need a bridge and you need a destination. The destination is a clean org, a full-fledged project. You have your requirements locked down. you have your resources, you have all the people you need, and you know what exactly you want to do. So by the time you have that, like we said, 2-3 slides max, nothing more, no story, no anything. Everything is in your head. So don't put too many words. It's you will be talking, just bullet points. Now, like I said, even if you don't show him, but by the time you go through that process, it forms your own personal talking points. And you'll be amazed how it changes the conversation, right? That he keeps talking again, and then you just be pointing back to him that, hey, John, or whatever his name is Alex, right? Hey, Alex, do you guys even, what has been the return on investment on your existing Salesforce investments? He's like, ooh, what are you saying? Don't forget, this is a VP, right? Just say, no, you just say that, you know what, I met with whoever that is. And, he was telling me about this, she was telling me about that. And I'm just like, I know fully well how Salesforce implementation can be expensive, both to initiate and to maintain. So I get it. And I'm just like wondering, how come you guys have ended up with this kind of investment and you're not getting the anticipated returns? I want to believe that's why you need to hire somebody like me. And you say, what do you mean? Oh, I'm glad you asked. Now, I've given it a little bit of thought since the last time I met with whoever. And I just feel like, you know what? You need to bring somebody in who clearly understands how we're going to get from where we are to where we need to be. And I think I have a plan. What do you mean? Oh, can I have 2 minutes of your time and attention just for me to show you something? Oh, why not? Then you show him. Now, whatever questions he's asking, because you know exactly, where they need to be, that's the way you make that conversation. And you don't forget, he's a VP, right? So now when it comes to even questions to ask him afterwards, because this conversation is not necessarily going to be, in my opinion, it's not necessarily going to be Salesforce technical question. It will be like they need somebody that can understand, that can bring in a thought process that is, one, clear, two, that understands what needs to be done, that understands how it needs to be done, and that understands where we need to be. And that's the exercise we're asking you to go and do right now, so that you are ahead of the game. So that by the time he starts talking, you are talking from the research that you have done, not just answering question, what is, you now say it is. No, no, no. We are beyond that. You are meeting a VP. Then we even need to go online and check. So let's go to Yahoo Finance. How is the company even doing as an organization? Do we even know, right? Yahoo Finance Canada, what the heck? So, okay. This is something that Joseph, this is something that Babs Kenke likes doing. So we come here. What's their name again? Lot Links.
Yeah, LOTLIN.
X, I think it's Inc. Is it Inc?
No, links, LINX.
Oh, yeah, NX, Lot Links, right?
Yeah,
Yes, look,
Yeah,
here.
okay. So why is nothing coming up? Is this their name?
no.
Okay, hold on. So why is this one coming up? So hold on. Lot Links. Okay, that's very okay. Let's go
Yeah,
into
so that's
yeah, I thought
LOTLINX.
that was what I put in. Let's LOTLINX. Okay.
Yes,
Oh,
please.
it's private. Why is it private? Except maybe they are not publicly listed. Maybe. So maybe that would be the only.
Maybe I would say so because they don't look.
Yes, maybe they're
They've
not
been
okay.
there
So
for
they're
like
not publicly. Okay,
2012.
that's fair. All right. Now, assignment for you would be that go on. So for somebody like this, I want to go on YouTube, lot links. I want to see if their MD or something is saying something in the. So go on YouTube and try and get a definitive story about them, right? It could be something that is in their strategic roadmap. It could be something that, who is their managing director? It could be something their MD said recently, right? So how dealers, so that's these lots, I guess, so how dealers take control of their inventory, how dealership, who is this? Inside Automobile, Gen, Life. Let's see who this is. Lot links, Rick, Dearden, who is this? How dealers can take control of inventory management. Skip That's not. That has nothing. How dealers take control. Are you hearing the video? No, you won't. So hold on.
No.
So, yes, you won't hear it. I know. So let me share sound. Okay. So I'm just trying to see if I can get. So these lot links.
And they are all over the place doing great
now,
work
right?
for dealers.
Yeah.
So how's the show going? So Dealer Conference. It's day 2 here at the conference, and we're joined by Rick Dearden, who is the regional director for a company called LotLinks. I know that you know that brand.
So
they are all over the place doing great work for dealers.
Now, this
so how's the show going so far?
It's going really well. We're excited, to be part of this, and support the,
and find something that somebody said about them online, right? Somebody in senior management. So even if we want to do something like this, lot links and say lot links and put that guy's name, Alex, whatever his name is. What's his name? Alex whatever. Karpaza. Okay. Lot links, Alex. So Alex Hutchins. No. Now, so those are your assignments. Go and find something. This is LinkedIn profile. So they even have a YouTube channel. Now, you need to be all over this YouTube channel. So John, blah, blah, is seasoned expert. He's even into AI. So you want to be able to connect with him emotionally. People at that level is not just technical anymore. You want to be able to bring his attention to something he said or something he's following or something he's passionate about. That would be a segue for you to reach his core. You want to do that. It could even be your icebreaker, right? That you're going to tell him that, oh, okay,
GM Edwin Tan and his team started using LotLinks 3 years ago.
My executive team is ecstatic. They are super
so these
happy
are
with
their
what
clients.
we're currently doing, especially.
So again, this is a 3-minute video. You can go in there and talk about it, whatever is in there. I don't know. Now, this is translating AI and machine. So that's him, right? This is the way you look for people like this. It's not, and it will just make all the difference. Yeah, go ahead.
There was something I just noticed as well, and I think you should hold that as your is it a joke, I'll call it. I see Alex as, if you look at his LinkedIn profile, he joined the company 9 years ago and started as a product manager.
Correct.
So it's pretty much like that is his baby, right?
Correct.
So like what Mr. Boy is saying now, you want to go online and look for either seminars he's done speaking about the product, because he knows that product like the back of his hand, right?
Correct.
So it's coming as, even though it's coming as a VP, he might be asking you tailored questions around that product that they use and how they can transform that feature state to make it easier. Because now that you're speaking about AI and car dealership, so it's either they want to use Salesforce on the AI part, and they're looking for someone, they're looking for someone that will do a fantastic design. So you want to speak more of the feature states, and how, especially now that, like what Mr. Boy is saying, twist AI into it and look at how you can do a design around that. And I feel they're going to be wowed, because you're coming with a different stuff.
Right? This is, he's the one saying all this. So you need to go, I will send you all these links, at some point. And then, try to, that's what I was saying, that if people at this level, you want to connect with them, that it will be like, oh, you read that or you heard that, right? Whatever that is. And then you put that into your own conversation, that you know what, that actually is fascinating to me, that you are so much engrossed in AI. I don't even know how you do it. So how did you get into AI? You ask the question. I love AI too. And you can see how Salesforce in the last Dreamfest, how they were so big on AI. As in, I want to assume you've been into AI maybe way before even Salesforce, right? And it makes the conversation become more, it makes the interview become more of a conversation than an interview, right? It's now like, so you are coming to meet his need, his own need, right? And I'll send you a number of questions that you can also, I'll share a document with you for questions that you can ask. And there are some specific ones for people at this level. So this is him. So Vice President of Commercial Operations, former Senior Director, blah, blah, blah. Watch his presentation at NADA 2024. We're just in March. So watch this video. What is he saying? Speak it back to him and you sound excited. I mean, what we are saying here is that I mean, I can't imagine when I was listening to what you were saying, I was like, oh my God, right? Why wouldn't I want to work with Lotlinks and be working with you? I'm pretty excited. I don't know about you, but I'm already pretty excited having the opportunity for you to even be interviewing me. I can't wait to start. How come where is this girl? I know you. I feel like I know you already. Like, what do you mean? And then you start telling him what he said. Wow, you saw that video? Why not? I did. I'm excited. When do we start? And he'll just be looking at you like, Iroma Ulele. Exactly. So, but it is about him because the Salesforce part, I don't think we have any issues there.
Yeah.
Now, what you want to do is to be able to speak to him. And that's why you need to do this research about him, about what he's saying, about what his future plans are, right? And, you know, they're saying here now that, where is my, how come? Okay. So to start leveraging, so that means they have a product, right? Whatever that product is, I don't know.
They have
Whatever.
different products, right?
But
So that is.
just honing.
I
Now you
think
can
what they do is, I think they have a software and they sell it to
maybe
car
to
dealerships
car
and
dealerships,
tailor it
exactly,
and
and
then
tailor
tailor
it.
it to their needs.
Correct. Yeah. So Salesforce may not even be what they are using for this, right? But
No,
for
no, no.
you,
Salesforce is for
exactly,
their
for
sales
their
people.
internal,
For their
exactly,
Yeah.
internal people, yeah.
exactly.
Yes.
But you are now trying to make him realize that you are even beyond Salesforce. You are looking at their business, their strategic business, roadmap. That you are just excited about what they do. Be as excited as he is about the products. So, so the finance finally opened up. So here, so it's a privately listed company, financials. So lots are really total. Okay, I think they are raising funds, but that's not public. So Lotlinks has a post-money valuation range of 10 to 50 million. Okay. I don't think they are a fully public organization. So normally there's a document that would show their finance unlock for free. No, but try to see what you can find. I just wanted to first of all get all this out of the way because this is the way you speak his own language, right? So what else? I've already put this in there. I think I've already put this in there. Nothing's translating AI. Yeah, I've already sent that to you. Okay. So having said that, so let me come back to Becca. So Becca.
Sorry, I was going to say something. I was going to say something before. So in terms of like, okay, what like I should talk about, I remember that in the conversation, Cotton has mentioned something about like they want to add support to their system, right? So I think currently maybe when the dealers or their client has issue, they do not have like where you would do like maybe like service card where you'll be able to create a case on Salesforce. So it's one of the things that they would want to do.
Okay, so
I'm looking at maybe my
since they already have Salesforce, Salesforce should be able to help them do that. But don't also forget that those their clients may not be interfacing with their own Salesforce, because what you are saying is that they are using Salesforce for their own internal operations, right? So, but what stops them from exposing an experience site on an existing Salesforce instance to use for that purpose? Why not? So
they could even place their cases through the experience site.
Exactly. So these are things that you are going to be saying. You're just going to form part of your because you don't want to come across like as if you're telling him what they need to be. I mean, like you are
their problem.
No. So it's not their problem, but you are acknowledging the fact that, you know what, from what I've heard, and you want to maybe say like, there are three things that I've galvanized in my conversation over this, the course of the interview process here. And I just realized that, these three things are cardinal. Number one, you say it. Number two, you say it. Number three, you say it. And he now say, oh, okay. So what next? I'm glad you asked. And then for number one, you now say, you know what, this is what I'm thinking. For number two, this is what I'm thinking. For number three, this is what I'm thinking. Right? And it's not like you are telling them, oh, they are not doing. No. You just be like, you know what? These are possibilities, especially with Salesforce. And you want to come and say, okay, this is what Salesforce can do in order to mitigate this or to address this pain point, this challenge, or whatever that is. You want to be able to go in there with at least 3 things. 3 is a good number. Knock them in the head and say this. And you are not saying anything that you have not heard. So there's no secret here. And then don't forget your icebreaker, how you are going to connect to him, from the very beginning, and be like, you know what? Tell me, how did you fall in love with machine learning and AI? It's a question. He will answer you. And then and there are some questions that I ask, and regardless what the person responds, your next response is going to be the same. It's irrelevant whatever they say. So how did you come in contact with machine learning and AI? Whatever he says, whether he says, oh, it was 10 years ago, 5 years ago, it was just 3 months ago, whatever, fantastic. You know what? I've also been looking for an opportunity to delve into that space. And I think that is even more the more reason why I'm pretty much excited about this role. I'm not just here to learn Salesforce, but I have somebody in the organization that I can look up to who is already a forerunner within the AI space. I can see how passionate you are. I looked you up. I hope you don't mind. It's public anyway, so I don't think you should. Everything we have seen right now is public, right? So, and then you now start talking. It's like you are very passionate about AI and machine learning. Is that something that you learned, or is that something you're just, it's just a hobby, or something you're just passionate about? You continue the conversation, and then he keeps talking, and then before you know, both of you are laughing and like, oh wow, oh my God, right? Then you just keep going. But I haven't said all of this. I want to come back to Becca, and I want Becca to help us here to say, what would you give us? What a day in the life of a product manager? And I want you to take it one notch down. Let's start from a product owner within a Scrum team, and then we take it up to product manager, product management within, like, what is it called now? What's that other one? At the program level, what do you call it now, Becca? Help me out.
Okay. So you have your team level, program level, and portfolio level.
Okay then. Thank you. Yeah. So if you can help us so that let her hear it, and just let's break it down, and let's all just listen. I'm sure Rebecca will have a good story to tell us, and let's just hear it out. Okay.
I'll try and leave it around the eye level view.
Yeah, that's fair.
Things that actually practice skilled
exactly.
Agile,
okay.
Which is pretty much like you have your team level, your program level, and then you have your portfolio level. So on the team level, it's always the product owners alongside the Scrum teams. Like, you fully know, if you don't know, this is what it is. Product owners are the owners of the backlog. So obviously, it now depends on the organizational hierarchy of your company. Some companies is the PM that actually liaises with the sponsor, the project sponsor, or the business. Some companies will call them stakeholders, which are pretty much the end users. So while the PM actually liaises with these people, they are the ones that talk about the epics or the features that to implement any functionality. And so they actually discuss this with their POs, and the POs obviously will now shave it down into their user stories, add it to the backlog, and the whole agile process starts from there with the Scrum team. Then if your iteration is going to be 2 weeks or 3 weeks, depending on whatever the company has decided to use. So as a BA, obviously you're working
Sorry, Becca. I think your audio degraded a little bit. Did something change at your end?
No, can you hear me now?
Yeah,
I'm still in the car, so I just parked.
Oh, okay. Oh,
yes.
sorry. Okay. Yeah, it's
No,
way better
fine.
now. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So I don't know where I stopped or where you heard me up to. So I could just start all over again.
Okay, all right, if that's better for you. Okay. Yeah.
So if companies that practice skilled agile, it's pretty much team level, program level and your portfolio level. So on the team level, depending on the organizational hierarchy and how it plays out, right? But most organizations, they tie the PO down to the team level, which is the Scrum team. So for your Scrum team, obviously you have your designers, your QA, you have your BA and all those good stuff. But that doesn't mean you don't have a senior BA that works on the program level, right? And at the same time, the PMs are pretty much the ones that liaise with the business. It depends on company, but I'm speaking from my own organization. The PM liaises with the stakeholders, which we call the business itself. They are the ones that understand the process, or you could call them the business process owner, right? So they tell them, oh, this is what I'm trying to accomplish for the next quarter. So now what does PM then do is take these epics of these features and then discuss with their PO. The PO then goes further and shave off these epics into user stories. And these user stories are then added to their backlog. That is where it comes down to the team level. While on the portfolio level, this is where you have your senior management. They're talking about budgets, they're talking about high level of the initiatives, or what you could call the team, depending on what they want to accomplish for the next 6 months or the next 1 year, what they're pushing out to production and all this good stuff. So for your organization, you want to be able to look at that. I don't know where you might likely fall, but my head is telling me if you're working with the VP, it's pretty much you might be on mid-management level. So because you're coming in with what's it called, looking at your design, right? And the title of the role is, I think, business system analyst, right? If I'm correct.
Yeah,
So
kind of business system operation analyst. So yeah.
Okay, operational analyst. So you're looking at operations side. And what is operations? Operations is pretty much looking at the functionality and whatever they have going, maintaining it. So you're looking at it from that angle. At the same time, they want you to be able to have agile understanding. So agile understanding is like end-to-end process. Like whatever they are churning out at the end of every iteration is going to be usable by the end user. So you're pretty much, for me, you might be wearing the cap of either the Scrum team and what's it called, the program level as well. So you're more or less like coming with the full experience of not just the business system analyst, but from the operation side. So that's the high level view of what happens on both team level, program level, and obviously the portfolio level. But have it at the back of your mind. If your company is going to be practicing scaled agile, you're going to be having things that you call PI planning. So in your PI planning, you're actually having, you're coming to such meetings with pre-planned or objectives that you're committing to for the next 6 months, so that you're looking at it from the business value. So case in point is, you might want to build a car for a year. So in 6 months, they're telling you, I want the body of the car to be ready, even though any other thing is not ready. So you're coming to that PI planning, which is your program level. So on that program level, yes, you're coming with your Scrum team, your POs and your PMs. Everybody might be there, depending on organization again. So when you come to that meeting, you are committing, saying that for the next 6 months, because the people on the portfolio level has told you, I want the body of the car to be ready by 6 months. Or have it at the back of your mind, sprint is 2 weeks. So if you're committing for 6 months, yes, things might fall along the path, like things might fall through the wall, the cracked wall. And that was where he made mention of scope creep. And you did give a very good answer, whereby you want to be able to understand what the business needs, but at the same time, having at the back of your mind, you want to know what's the business value as well, of what benefit is it to the company, what is the ROI at the same time, because he's operating on the VP level and he's operating on the experience of being a product management as well. So you want to be able to look at whatever design you're bringing is cost effective. So I'll put a pin there. That's pretty much the high level view from portfolio level down to the team level with skilled agile.
Thank you very much, Becca. So let's allow Annie to respond.
Okay, so from my own, like looking at the way the team looks like, I think it's just going to be like currently there are about like 3 or 4 members of the team. So this particular one that is Alex, if you look at from even his LinkedIn profile, he just was moved into this VP role last October or September. And that's when he joined the team, or when he became the lead of this team, like the people managing the Salesforce. So I am thinking it's just going to be like the Scrum team. So yeah, it's just going to be like the Scrum team, because I think what currently they don't even have a QA, but they do have like an admin. They have a Salesforce admin. They have the developer. Then they're looking at getting another admin, but the developer was the one that requested that he actually needs a BA to help them put the requirement together. But because it seems like they're just, the developers are just they'll just go and develop anything, like, so they're just putting a lot of pushing so many things into the current system. So that's why they need documentation. And it mentioned that they laid off like the two people, like the previous person managing it, because that's when he took over, they realized that there had been a lot of garbage in the system, right? And that's why they laid off those two people, and he had to come in.
So my mind is telling me, and I might not be far from the truth, you are going to be working alongside Alex. And so Alex is wearing the cap, multiple caps for a year, is being the VP, and because as a good amount of whatever has been going on with the products. So obviously you need a BSA to be able to come into play, to be able to look at it from the business angle, put it pen to paper. So you might be doing a lot of documentation for them, then at the same time passing it to the developer, and whatever the developer has done, you are now the one that might be doing like a QA and acceptance check, which is pretty much like a senior QA on that role as well, to be able to say you accept this story based on the AC of the documentation.
Exactly. Yeah, you nailed it. Yeah, that's it. So it's like going to be like multiple thing, right?
Yeah. But I think they really want you, for them to have brought you this far. Yeah,
this far.
They want you.
And again, I'm just and thank you so much, Becca, for that. I'm just looking at, again, when I read this, even though it's very simplistic, I'm like, they seem to be very proud of whatever that product is. And that's why, again, I'm giving you that homework. Please go know whatever that product is. Even if it's at a high level, throw it back at him. Like, I can't see any reason why someone would not be excited about this product. Right? But you need to know what the product is, right? And then you're telling him, oh my God, that you actually went and you wanted to know what exactly is this product. Again, you don't have to, you're not saying it to impress him, but you're saying it that you care. That's what you want to prove. That you literally care, whether you get the job or not, you literally care what makes lot links. And they're saying to you that we specialize in empowering automobile dealers and manufacturers by providing cutting-edge data and technology, delivering a distinct market advantage for every single vehicle transaction. Today, we stand at the foremost, whatever. So what is it? I want to know. Even look at the way they wrote it, like you writing the executive summary of your resume. Don't you feel like you want to read more? They're saying we stand as the foremost automotive AI and machine learning powered technology, excelling in digital marketing, risk management, and strategic inventory management. This has nothing to do with Salesforce. But if you are coming with this knowledge, you know what that means? You are no longer thinking in your role, you are thinking as an integral part of the organization. So it's going beyond your role. And what does that put you to be? It means that you are not just in need for yourself, you are in need for the organization. That's why he can go, look at how he moved now. And that's why I feel like even if they are not doing scaled agile, so he joined them as a product manager. I don't know what that would have been way back in 2015. It could have just been a glorified PO. That's fair. But look at how he's moved. He's moved as a senior PM, product development. So he's still within product development, like you were talking product roadmap, right? He became senior director of product development, and then he moved into program management. Now, at this level, that means he's now managing multiple products.
Yeah.
Right? He's going up. Now, he's now gotten to a level whereby he's done so well at it. He's now commercial operation. So he's now managing a portfolio. So he's doing product management. He's doing program management. So for somebody like him to want to meet with you, you better also come with a larger than life persona. And I can tell you, this is no longer about Salesforce. This is more about strategic thinking. About so that means he's looking for somebody that can go in and take that product to the next level. Now, whether they're going to use Salesforce for it or not, the Salesforce part, we got that covered. I'm not worried. But you want him to understand that you are coming in not just for Salesforce, but you are coming in because you fully understand how Salesforce, will become an integral part of the organizational success. Let me ask you a question. Why do you think they pay MD so high? Have you ever thought about it? As in, what job does MD do? Day
It's
to day.
strategic, right? It's
Exactly.
strategic. Yeah.
It's strategic. MD will go and meet with another organization, strike a deal of $100 million. And that's all he's done. And that's enough for a week because that will pay salaries for the next 2 months. You guys better go figure out how you are going to do whatever you are doing, right? But he only needs to have that one meeting to get that deal to pay salaries for the next 2 months. I have a friend who is in Nigeria. We went to school together. He's the group MD of Iteco in Nigeria. It's an IT servicing company. He just retired. He literally retired. And I said, how come? He said he decided to retire before, no, he still has about 5 years, but he said he chose to retire. And you know what thing he said to me that has been a relief to him? He said he's no longer carrying the burden of where are we going to get money to pay salaries. That's an MD problem. That's not your problem. That's not my problem. Because you just expect that you should get paid. So why do you now think they'll have to pay MD a lot of money? It's because he also needs to make a lot of money. If there's no money, he's the first person they will fire, not you and me, right? Because we need somebody to make good strategic decisions. Okay. Now, so let's kind of simmer down a little bit here, and let's go back to the JD and let's just see whether something will come out in the JD. So I want to also take my time to look at the JD and let's see whether there's any talking point. So LotLinks provides employees with a dynamic, okay, that's all sales speech. They are full of passionate people. We offer great, okay. LotLinks is looking for a dynamic 2-year blah, blah, blah to join our team as Salesforce Business Analyst. You will play a crucial role in collaborating, blah, blah, blah. Okay, now, you know what I'm going to... So if a mentee of mine, this is another thing that I didn't realize these things happen. So a mentee of mine is in the third stage of a Salesforce implementation specialist role for a non-profit cloud role, right? And for the next stage, they sent her the questions they're going to ask her. Can you even imagine? I didn't even know that was a thing. They actually sent her the questions. That these are the questions we're going to ask you. And there was one or two of them that actually caught my attention. So I want to bring it up here. So just give me, and that's the advantage I get when I have different people coming to me for interview prep. So
real-time financial analysis of the solution. So that's why my team was being called to come and handle the integration. So it was challenging for us to get a requirement from the stakeholder. And I would say why I said it was challenging for us to get from the stakeholder is because you have to look at the different personnel, look at the different people that actually, use the solution and the people that is going to use the integration. So we have to look at different personnel, look at the what would they want to see, like even like from the Salesforce side, you're looking about the service cloud, looking about the customer support, you look at the sales operation, you look at the finance guys, what do they want to see in Salesforce? So it was challenging, and being that they already have the sales the Shopify ongoing, and they already have a way day-to-day of how they get their data, like their manual process. So getting information out from them. So I think what I did first was to kind of understand the stakeholders, to know like their communication styles. And after getting that, and I was able to get the requirement. And what I did was probably just, did like a focus group whereby we call each of the groups together, we get this information, and from there I had to, drill down by then interviewing the stakeholders to get, get to know what requirement will actually benefit each of these departments. Then I sent out like a review for them to be able to verify the requirement that I've gathered, and which they were able to confirm, and were able to move ahead, so that it was written into the backlogs, and then the developers develop. And at the end of the delivery of the solution, the team were happy. I shall put work together.
Okay. So Rebecca, what do you think of that response?
I think, yeah, but make it concise and
too long. Okay?
Yes, it was getting too long that you could
lost
body, yes, at any point in time. So maybe you want to like just document things, because that was one of the questions I actually had, that you should be able to know how do you get a document business requirement from stakeholders, right? Talk of an example of a challenging requirement where you successfully implemented it, but don't go all over the place. Like, just make your bullet point 1, 2, 3, hit the nail on the head. And because most times when you're speaking, the follow-on question comes from whatever you said, so you don't want them giving you too much. Based on you going all around. But I love some key points you actually had in there as well.
Yeah. And I was just looking at the JD. So when you look at, here they're saying ability to prioritize. So that's exactly the same question here. Share balancing competing priorities, because those are core BA challenges, right, on the job. So can you respond to that? Let me see. We have about, okay, no, let me do this. So because I can catch up with you at another time. Now, is there any question you have for Becca based on her own experience before we go?
Will be plenty.
Becca is a scrum master of scrum masters. So
there will be plenty.
Plenty?
Like, yeah, I'm just no, don't be scared. Don't be scared.
So maybe what if you don't know it, you could always send it. But if you have anyone, you could let me know. But at the same time, you could say if you could prepare an experience that you've had with Jira tool, because I want to believe they might be using Jira as their Atlassian tool.
It's here. It's on. Am I not
sure?
Okay.
They're using Jira. Yes.
Okay, so you want to, so the question could be like, describe your experience with Jira software management role in your previous projects. So you want to be able to speak on how you were able to use Jira in visualizing where the ticket is in its software development lifecycle to when it was pushed out to production. Then you're talking about the release management side as well.
Okay, makes sense. You've used Jira now, right?
Yeah, I use Jira, even in my current role.
So they are also talking about soliciting, gathering, analyzing user. Those are BA 101, right? We're good on those ones, right? User story, creating process flow diagrams. We are good on those. Experience collaborating with stakeholders. Again, we are good on those. Ability to prioritize and handle multiple tasks within a collaborative team environment. Let's answer that question. So is either you want to answer it as ability. Okay, so the question will be, can you share an example of a time you've had to balance competing priorities? How did you navigate expectations and make decisions during this time? That's the question.
Okay, so So as a business analyst of the system, so there is always like multiple activities to do at the same time, because there are usually multiple tasks. But what I would say is excellent communication skills, being able to communicate with the stakeholders, or based on the deliveries. You're looking like you're prioritizing based on the business value that each of the requirements or the tasks that you're being given, to be. And one other thing that I've used the Moscow approach in terms of the tasks. So I put it together like, okay, what are the one that is no must have, and the one that, should have, or the one that could have, or the one. So I do that. Then I also prioritize my tasks based on the ones that are, based on the, this is what I normally use. Oh, sorry. The ones that are, what's this thing that you like cannot wait?
Must have. No, you've already talked about Moscow. So
no, there's this particular one that the way I prioritize my tasks, or when I start my day-to-day activity. So you look at based on the thing. So I it's just prioritization, but there's this particular one that I use that You know, I prioritize the ones that, okay, can wait till the other day, right? So, yeah, there's a
important versus urgent.
Time criticality.
Exactly, that urgency. Exactly, that urgent. Yeah, that urgent or something like that. That it's urgent and can wait. So I prioritize then. So using that has been able to, you know, I've been able to prioritize my tasks and be able to do the one that is, you know, maybe critical and very urgent, and the ones that some that maybe is critical but not very urgent. So, and that has been able to help me. So that's the way I would say that I handle multiple tasks using that, you know, criticality and importance of the task.
Okay, so I could just chime in here as well. You made mention of two things. You're looking at your business value, time criticality. Then you want to look at job duration and jobs, or you say job size, right?
Okay.
Because you want to be able to know how long will it take you to implement this job. Some job might have high business value, but it might take the development team 8 months to implement it. And obviously, you want to look at what's the shortest job you could implement to start for them to start getting feedback, because that's pretty much like their return on their investment that they've done.
That's
Because
good.
agile is all about getting feedback from your MVP that you've kept out there, and then putting it back into your product backlog to make your system more robust. So I think those are the factors you should use, which is business value, time criticality, and the job size or duration.
Thank you very much. Okay, so
thank you very much. Yeah.
Okay, so let's wrap this up. I can still connect with you, Annie. I just want to say, you know, a huge thank you to Becca. You see
One
why?
last question for Baker. Sorry.
Okay, so make that quick. Yeah.
So what I'm creating, it's more like a value proposition.
It's value, but at the same time, you're looking at their future state.
Future state.
Have that at the back of your mind that from what their pain point was pretty much, they want to leave the legacy system and start a new Salesforce system. So this new Salesforce system, I believe they want to get more clients. They want to get cleaner data, right? Because now they're trying to expand using AI. And most companies are going AI routes, and obviously they need a system to be able to help them with their CRM. So you're looking at what's their future state. So because you're not privy to what their legacy system is, except if they are giving you a synopsis of what it is in your interview, then you can leverage on that. But since you don't have it, what I'll tell you to do is look at what they are currently doing, right? And see how you can tailor their Salesforce, looking at their page layout, what should be in their object, their fields. Like if they're having an auto dealer client, what should they be getting from their customers to be able to, most especially if you are converting your lead, because when you convert your lead, you have your account, your contact, and your opportunity. So you want to have a scoring, a grading system for them, like looking at their customer, their high value customer, medium value customer, low value customer, because at the end of the day, it's all business for them. And CRM, Salesforce will be able to help them determine that. Then one question I think I saw in the resume in your what's it called, JD, which was pretty much how do you approach, I think the question would be around how do you approach continuous learning and skill development in Salesforce, because remember, Salesforce are always doing updates. So maybe you want to touch
Yes, I'll send her that question. As in, she needs to know what is Salesforce releases, what excites you in the last Salesforce release. So that's something everybody must have in their back pocket. Okay, no, that's very good. And then I also want to say that, so I mean, what Becca said about that, whatever you're going to be working on, that, you know, you may not even, I would even say that even if you cannot go into that level of detail of, you know, objects and all that, you can even start from ChatGPT. Put it like a case study in ChatGPT. ChatGPT, you'll be amazed what it will come up with. Like, oh, there's this organization, they're currently using Salesforce, but they don't like whatever. And then, you know, how would you propose that they move into a new whatever? Write a detailed question for ChatGPT and hit enter, and let's see what comes out. By the time you tweak it 2-3 times, you'll be amazed what will come up. You'll be amazed. And you'll see that ChatGPT will do 60-70% of the work for you. And then you just fill in the blanks. So, but the good thing is that you are thinking this way, right? So it's 1 minute out. Let's go. I will connect with you, Annie, and we keep the conversation going. So thank you, Rebecca.
Thank you very much, Becca.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And congratulations. I know you're getting this anyways. So congratulations.
Thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. Thanks.